How do you feel physically?
Physically, I feel like not necessarily weak.
Okay.
But I feel aloof is a good word for it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a...
It could be allergies.
Of course it's allergies.
Everyone,
window open.
Honestly, it's allergy season. Like,
yes.
People are obsessed. You weren't built to be here. You know what I mean? Like,
I was not built to exist.
You weren't put on this earth to live.
No.
And you've been
every
fighting
day is a
that
battle.
every single day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed that you're still here.
Thank
because,
you.
like, air could take you out in a second.
In a second, it could wipe me out. But again, I'm not projecting, but like 27 Club.
Good children. Hey, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Good Children, the podcast where me and Andrew reflect on our 21 years of friendship, growing up in the late 2000s, early 2010s, and all of the nostalgia, trauma, and Duke, stop! No, because now you're being a brat, and like I can't. And trips home that entails.
Mm-hmm.
We're in my home.
Yes.
We were in my parents' house, the house that me and Andrew filmed everything in. I'm dog sitting.
Joe's dog sitting. He really has both of these dogs.
It's not easy.
You are really, you're an amazing mother.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
He's calmed down considerably.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
Duke is kind of chilling too, but he is admittedly 5 months old. Yeah. So I think that for him, like, it's a tougher ask. How does it feel being home?
It feels great being home. You know what I mean? It's like you walk in that door, you're ready to open the fridge, you're ready for food. I open that freezer and there's a different popsicle for your choosing.
Yeah.
I'm like, Budgicle?
Is that part of like being a parent, or is that just like, you know, like actually having a life savings and having money to spend? Like,
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's like definitely being a parent, like being a host, because again, like as your children come, grandchildren, whomever's walking in this space, you're like, yeah, grab a little something.
Right.
Us, you walk through our door, you might as
like, best of luck. The reason we're home, again, I'm dog sitting, but also we're here because tomorrow
is the Italian festival. And if you know us, we're Italian.
We love an Italian festival. I love any opportunity to eat
a zeppoli,
a sausage and pepper, like a yard-long beer, and a sangria,
and to honestly just talk at a volume that like is just you can't even compare.
I'm gonna be honest.
What are you gonna say?
The Italian festival, and I've always hated the Italian festival, but like, I'll do whatever it takes. Like, I literally, like,
the way that I'm upset that
you're mad.
Yeah, I'm like literally, like, I actually am like,
it is hard. It's like a really tough experience. Mm-hmm. It's packed. It's filled with truly people who are confident in who they are. You know what I mean?
Again, like cozy with who they are.
Yes, they are definitely cozy.
And it's like actually like Italian restaurant on Italian restaurant selling competing eggplant parmesans.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, yeah, I'll take the eggplant parmesan from each stop.
You have no choice.
Yeah. And again, if it's hot, like game over.
No. And it's always hot. It's always packed. Long Island.
How do you feel?
Overall, looking at Long Island, I think that my opinion on it has changed and is still changing every day. Mm-hmm. I've always been a ladybird. You know what I mean? Like, that at the end of the day, like,
Did we see that movie together?
We saw it together and I sobbed hysterically for like 15 minutes after. And then we got like a chicken bacon bomber slice.
Yeah, that makes from Mary's.
It could be from Mary's. To me, Ladybird was like the closest depiction to like, I know it was Sacramento, but I was like, this is so me.
Yeah.
I mean, down to her name becoming Ladybird, like her changing her name.
Royal. Yeah.
Yeah. Being like, I'm going to move to New York and something's going to happen to me there. Like, all of it was so, that was like a true representation moment. Mm-hmm. And her dog looks just like Otto. The feeling of like hating where you're from so much until you realize that maybe you actually just really like it. Would I live here?
No, but that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to want to live here, but I do think that it genuinely has everything.
Yeah.
And I love a backyard. There is something about driving on this island. And for you, Joe, how does it, I mean, like, again, you didn't really need anybody to drive because I would just swing by and pick you up.
The only reason to this day I would ever consider getting a license is, as you know, to listen to Red Taylor's version. Otherwise, it's just not something that's in the cards for me. I prefer to be in the passenger seat. Yeah. I like picking out the music.
You're a good passenger, I'll say it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I think I bring fun. I bring good vibes.
Shockingly, you bring really good vibes in a car, and I think that, like, you are not a front seat driver.
Oh, no. Because who am I to speak?
You're like, yeah, you could speed. And if, like, anybody was, like, if you were to be, like, going in and out of the lanes, you're kind of just there. You're kind of accepting any fate.
Yeah, I have no idea how to drive. So it's, like, literally fine.
Yeah.
Something else crazy about being home that I do feel is a universal experience is Grindr, like the apps. I don't think this is about Long Island. I don't think it's about any time and place in the world. I think no matter who you are, the worst thing you could ever experience is Grindr in your hometown.
I agree. But I will say the Grindr on Long Island is actually just a black screen.
It's literally just like DL. Yeah.
It's just a full, you're kind of like, wait, is it a Grindr blackout? What's going on, you guys? But I agree. There is something really strange. And then it's also like, why does everyone look exactly the same? But now I don't have the apps, but I will say something about Grindr, and this I actually, like, you don't even have to include it if you don't want to. When I was last night, I was at Wicked. There was a couple in front of me, and I'm not kidding, every time the lights came on, immediately took out Grindr, scrolling, tapping. They both were like, and I was like,
I am right now plugged into the Matrix. Mm-hmm. I am on Scruff and Grindr like it's my full-time job. Like, just literally just refreshing. Like, again, I've never used those apps for their intended purpose in my entire life. No. I have probably, my screen time on them over the past 7 or 8 years, higher than like TikTok, Instagram, Twitter combined, is Grindr and Scruff. I just like, sometimes I always like refreshing, hoping for like a personalized message, you know, like
you do love a little bit of attention.
I do love
It's attention. Really like, at the end of the day, it's like you do love attention, and it's like crazy that you go on these apps
for a little hit,
just for a little, like little. Ooh, that feels really nice. Like someone just messaged me and I can talk to them.
Well, no, I don't. I usually don't respond, which I think is bad.
Actually, so bad, Joe. People are like,
I know people take it personally. I didn't know that.
And again, like, especially now, it's like people are going to be tapping you, liking you, messaging you, and then we're like, I'm not going to answer. I'm so sorry. And then they're like, wait.
But I just everyone answer. I don't text back my boss. Yeah. I don't text back my coworkers. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to message back a stranger on Grindr who says, hey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I always, again, that's the people pleaser. I would like respond, hey. And then obviously I know what they're there for. And I'm like, no. And then it gets worse when you like let it go. Then I feel like let the conversation keep going.
Yeah, that's
and then you
insanity.
Cut it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather just not respond. And sometimes it's like, I'm sorry, I can't get back to every message.
And I'm sorry, I don't have a car. And
I can't. And I also can't host because my parents have about 85 Ring doorbells. I literally have no idea how to get in and out of this house without being seen. It's insane.
The way that we have progressed as a society.
Into a surveillance state?
Into a surveillance. Yeah, actually. Like, why is there a ring camera in my kitchen?
I was actually thinking that I was like naked walking around this house, and I was like, I just feel like there's a few cameras.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I have had to dodge a few cameras in my home, specifically when I'm in the kitchen opening the fridge because it's probably 1 a.m. And I do know that my dad gets a buzz on his phone every single time there's a motion.
Chime.
A chime every single time.
That wind chime notification is burned into my brain.
I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like,
when will we accept that like the Ring doorbell is actually like our big brother and not like in a funny way? Like, no, we're all being watched.
And what happened to the good old days when someone rings the doorbell and you have to open the door?
Oh, it's Deborah. Should I just pretend I'm not home? Hi. You know what? This woman.
I do think that like suburbia makes you antisocial.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's really easy to like stay in and like avoid seeing anyone.
Yeah. The thing though about suburbia as opposed to the city is like sometimes you don't find the need to leave your home.
Yeah.
And I think that is where it gets to be the problem, because it's like if I was to have a home here, I think that I would just sit.
Right.
Right. And
we barely leave our apartment.
That's what, but when we do leave our apartment, we're like walking. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's nice. Let me keep walking. To like, I'm walking from coffee shop to coffee shop. I'm like, who's got a new chocolate croissant?
Right.
But here,
drive-through Starbucks.
If I had a dog, you gotta eliminate the drive-through Starbucks. I don't know. This is the thing about a drive-through Starbucks. I think that
you actually like come on here every week with a different statement to make about Starbucks' business model.
Actually, no, I'm coming on here actually attacking
are you on the board?
The coffee industry as a whole.
But specifically Starbucks.
Yeah, I'm actually on the board of Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to say anything
You're
to
actually
you.
Charlie D'Amelio.
Yeah, they're going to actually have an Andrew Muscarella drink.
The Muskie.
The day that there's a muskie out there.
Is it like a cold brew with 3 extra shots and whole milk?
Just a cold brew black.
My Great Gatsby era.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of sick and crazy, for being honest.
Joe, it was definitely sick and crazy. We were definitely dressing up like them, like nonstop.
Yeah.
And, like, it was definitely could be concerning, but it was... You know, you had a genuine interest, and it was sweet.
I've had a few hyperfixations in my life. I saw a lot of myself in Gatsby.
You see a lot of yourself. I'm just gonna say it, like, you see a lot of yourself in a lot of people, and it's
but listen,
good.
Same thing. Gatsby and Lady Bird, same kinds of people. Like Jay Gatsby was like, I don't like the life I'm living. I'm going to change my name, rebrand myself, and become this person.
Yeah.
Lady Bird was like, I don't like the life I'm living. I'm going to change my name, rebrand myself, and become this person. Joe Hegyes was like, I don't like the life I'm living. Change my name to Royal, rebrand myself, and become a different person.
Yeah.
It's the same pipeline.
It is.
So, like, I always have related to someone who has done that. And then, like, with Gatsby, it was, like, the big parties.
The big parties, like, made a lot of sense for you. Like, his big, lavish parties and your Halloween parties were
same exact thing.
One and the same.
Yeah, and, like...
Yeah, and Long Island, how can you...
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's my point. Yeah, so I got into a point where I was like, oh, like, Long Island's so rich.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to make my identity, like, being rich. Like, that was... and I was like, yeah, I'm from... the Long Island. Like, it's like a bunch of big houses.
You're like green light. I am Jay Gatsby.
Yeah. And then plus he yearns. I'm a yearner. You know, like I would do the same thing as him. I would have those parties to get Daisy to show up.
You yearn.
And then I named my guinea pig
Daisy.
I was fully in 8th grade naming my guinea pig Daisy because of Daisy Buchanan.
And then you had to
Gatsby.
give Daisy away.
The day me and you dropped Daisy off
was actually like, how could you even put this into words?
First of all, I want to say, like,
did we walk her to the door together?
Yeah. Pet ownership is no laughing matter, and like,
no.
Coming from personal experience, the shrimp that I've killed, the fish that I've killed. I've had frogs, I've had turtles, I've had hamsters.
You've
I've
had my hamster.
I've had your hamster. Yeah, like I've had any possible pet, and I regret a lot of them because I did not know how to take care of them. I didn't kill many creatures. Like I just accidentally
You didn't intentionally kill anything.
No, I didn't.
They just
the only things that really died in tragic ways were the fish and the shrimp.
Yeah.
But the other animals like died in natural causes.
Do you think that Lilo, my hamster.
Lilo, your hamster is still in this house.
Yeah, I know. I don't think that died of natural causes. I think that was probably pretty traumatic for Lilo. I think that she got out and was like...
Do you think that she was like eaten by Ozzy the cat?
Yes. Absolutely.
I don't know though.
Because I know that Lilo was like actually
a
like...
survivor.
She was a survivor. She was crazy because I know like I had... a metal cage for her with those bars, and what she did was like actually chew through the metal cage and ran out in my home. Then it was my sister and my dad that were trying to find this hamster, put it back in the cage, and they were like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna give it to Joe. And then we gave you Lilo. I can't even believe that like we stripped that from me. Like, why was I like, yeah, let's give it to Joe? Like, I actually probably
Honestly,
did care about Lilo.
Still got to see Lilo probably just as often until she went away.
Like, why am I kind of like freaking out about that now? I guess you're right.
No, hamsters are the source of most of my childhood trauma.
Because you're trying to. That was the reason. I was trying to go to sleep and she was in my room and she was running.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what sucks about guinea pigs.
I didn't move, so I'm like, get out.
Guinea pigs are like, I saw G-Force. You remember that film? G-Force?
No.
Okay, it was an animated film about guinea pigs who were in they were spies. Does that ring a bell?
No.
G-Force. It was guinea pigs.
Oh, G-Force.
No, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. They were guinea pigs. It was animated, but it was live action animated, very modern. And it was like a bunch of guinea pigs who were in a spy agency.
Like you using this dog's paw.
One of like the leaders was like a mole, like a literal mole.
Actually, it is ringing a bell. I don't know any of the plot
Anyway,
line.
I
don't even remember what I did yesterday. So
I saw G-Force and I said I need a guinea pig. That's the problem with these kids' movies. These kids see these movies, they say, I need a clownfish. You know what I mean? I need a Dalmatian.
And we got you that guinea pig. I remember being there when you guys got it.
Yeah, probably. It was a big day in the house. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the most annoying creatures of all time. Like, they don't shut up. They scream all day.
And like,
her cage was not big enough. They are violent. They shit everywhere. They smell. I kept her for a very long time, but honestly, like, when you love something, you have to let it go. And that's what we did. You only know you love it when you let it go. And we brought her to a classmate's home.
Who did have a lot of about 8 guinea pigs.
There's always that one girl who has a lot of rodents.
Yeah, it's either guinea pigs or it's honestly a ferret. And like it's one or the other.
Ferret girls.
Like, go
There's
nuts.
A ferret girl in every school across the United States, and they're not being talked about enough.
No, because again, they love those damn ferrets. And I'm gonna say it. They were right because they are cute and they're playful. Yes. And no one was giving them enough thought.
I completely agree. I honestly do think it's like time to have justice for ferret girls.
Yeah. You're like, you have a ferret?
You know that there are some girls who grew out of their ferret phase who are deeply ashamed of it. Who are like, yeah, I had ferrets.
How long do ferrets live for?
Oh, speaking of going home, those first few years after college when like some kids really beat to death the like visiting your high school experience. You know what I mean? Like almost got like way too much enjoyment out of coming back to that school. You're like, time's up on this one.
Time's up. You're walking through the halls. Everyone's like, who's that? You're like, I got the visitor pass on. I'm like, did I ever tell you that like this has nothing to do with, now we're talking about school again. Like on the last day of school, I obviously was sobbing. And the principal looked me in the face and said, stop crying. You don't want to be here. Get out. Enjoy. And live. And actually to this day, it stays with me. So like I have always thought about that every single time I go back into that high school. He said, get out.
Weird.
Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean this was like really good? I really liked this high school experience. Meanwhile, I was just like, why was I crying?
Why were you crying?
Why was I crying?
You were crying a lot though.
But the thing is, I was crying a lot.
And now I
don't cry.
You shut off all your emotions.
Yeah.
You're pretending to have these emotions. It's crazy. I can't wait for your ultimate breakdown. Like, you know,
you think it's gonna be like a really crazy one?
No, like I didn't mean it in the way that like I hope it's like bad. Like I can't wait for the day that like you do something hits the wall and you're like, oh, I need to release, and you like actually release this emotion because I'm excited to actually meet you.
Wait, okay, you guys. I'm gonna sign off.
I know they say you can't go home again.
Joe sounds exactly like
come back one last time.
Miranda Lambert. It took me forever to figure out who he was singing. I know
you don't know me from Adam.
You are giving the band Perry.
lips are mine. If I die, no, she's much breathier.
If I die young, bury me in satin, lay me down on a bed of roses, sink me in the river at dawn, send me away with the words of a love song. Oh, a ballad of a dove. Go with peace and love. Gather up your dreams and keep them in your pocket. Save it for a time that you really don't need a home.
We've already sang that song on this podcast.
I'm
sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. It actually gets sadder every single time you open your mouth and sing.
No, again, why was that song like on the radio?
It doesn't make sense to me. And
we were screaming "If I Die Young"
in your car, in the backseat of your car because you weren't old enough to drive. I think Long Islanders also, when it comes to food, always want to take it to the next level.
And how could you not?
How could you not? Like, the burritos are the biggest burritos you've ever seen.
The burritos?
Like, the burritos are crazy.
Yeah.
Diner by the Sea was popping off with their milkshakes. Like, we were driving lengths to get those things. Like, we are doing these things for Instagram, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, Andrew, it's something to do with the geography of where we're located because we are in the physical shadow of New York City.
Yeah.
So, like, everyone here, like, still has a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I
We're
think
dreamers.
It's an island of dreamers. And I think that the execution on those dreams is always wildly different. And I think that's where we get a lot of these like funky, interesting businesses and people is like people who are fighting against the shadow of New York City and like demanding they stand out. And that's kind of beautiful in some ways.
It's beautiful. And like they really find their way into a bakery because the bakeries around here are amazing. Amazing. I will also say an attraction for Long Island in general, like something that to do and like that if you did it in that day is just going to the supermarket.
Oh my God, that's like, I feel like my entire
amusement park.
Yeah, most of my life, that was the one thing I did in a day.
I feel like we would just be hanging out in your house and your mom would be like, all right, should we go to the supermarket? And
we were like, yes! I do wonder like the kind of person I would be if where I'm from was enough for me.
If you were to just also be happy enough to stay here.
Yeah. Like,
and not have to be thinking about like what comes next.
Because my entire life, I've only thought about what comes next.
Yeah.
And like only considered who I was going to be and where I was going to go and what I was going to do. Like I know what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
And I know where I want to end up. But I have like the roadmap is just like a big question mark. It's like, okay, like however I have to get there, I'm going to try it.
Yeah. There's like no sense of stability.
No.
Actually, like mental, emotional, physical, financial, like what we lack is stability.
And I don't know if I ever want it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that like that is what makes a dreamer dream.
You're obsessed. Here's to the ones who dream. Foolish as they may seem. I think it's time we talk about La La Land.
Emma Stone was like
phenomenal.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. She has such a beautiful voice.
What
and like
can
her little
Emma
rasp.
Stone do? I love a movie about
controversy.
What?
Too long.
Too long.
It's way too long. Like by the end of it, you're kind of like,
okay,
enough.
Same with Wicked.
That was the longest musical I have ever seen.
How are you feeling about the fact that in exactly 2 months we're going to be on stage?
I'm actually feeling really excited. It's like something that like I normally think that before I do something like this, I get like sick with stress, anything that I do. But I'm actually so excited.
Yeah.
Okay, Joe, how are you feeling? Because you've actually never really been on a stage before.
I think it's literally insane that we have done nothing live ever. And like, we have not been on a stage together since our 2002 performance of All Star.
Yep.
And I think that like what we have planned is insane.
And like what 6 months ago we saw Lana Glazer at the Bell House. I mean, like that's a dream. That's literally our dream venue, and our first show is going to be at that venue.
What was that?
I don't know, but I thought the door was going to open.
Can you imagine someone walking to the house? Who? My entire family's on different vacations and someone opens that door. Yeah. I'm telling you the house is haunted. I know we've talked about it. I have closed my bedroom door 3 times. It has been opened 3 times. But then I was going to sleep. Did you see what it was?
What?
It was like the charger just like moved. Is the vibe of this house. I know.
Okay, you guys.
You're like a little scared now?
Yeah, I'm going to get in the car.
Our snack this week, Andrew.
Don't even.
None other than
on the board
of Dunkin' Munchkins. Dunkin' Donuts. Otto saw this and immediately got up. At the end of the day, part of the unique charm and experience of Dunkin' Donuts is that no 2 orders are alike.
Nope.
No 2 experiences are the same. Mm-hmm. No 2 drinks are the same. You never know what you're going to get. The employees are always a little bit upset to be there.
They're always
extremely overwhelmed. But I've never in my life seen a lazy Dunkin' employee.
No.
I've never seen a Dunkin' employee who is not fighting for their lives behind that counter to get you a drink. It might not be the right drink, but they're going to get you a drink. And for that, I'm grateful enough.
Very grateful.
I don't need it to be the right drink.
It's a creative interpretation of what they think the drink is. That's honestly beautiful. It's original, it's refreshing, and it is something that should be celebrated. Yeah,
I'm going to tell you one. There's a lot more than 25 Munchkins.
That's the thing about the magic of the Munchkin.
They is load it up.
You order those 3 Munchkins for $1.
They're giving you a handful.
At least 12.
I mean, okay.
What's your favorite Munchkin? Say it.
There's so many glazed in here. I don't know. I love the thing about the chocolate Munchkin.
Just honestly throw me one.
With any flavor?
Yeah. With Munchkins, it's like, when do you stop?
Well, I just had 2.
Yeah, I want another. When will you stop? Is anyone asking, where did the creams go?
Hey, Andrew.
Hey,
Your
Joe.
face is looking trimmed.
You know exactly what I used on this face.
Could it be the Lawnmower 4.0?
Absolutely, it's a Lawnmower 4.0.
Same,
it's my Manscaper.
It's how I controlled my beard.
Your beard looks really good.
Thank you. I love Manscaped so much, genuinely. Like, the way that this partnership has changed my life on a deeply personal level and not in a financial way. Like,
no.
In a truly, like,
it's a good way to put it.
Like, deeply, like, my lifestyle has changed as a result of Manscaped. I have been hearing Manscaped ads my entire life.
Yeah.
I've been hearing the podcast ads. I've been seeing the TikToks. I've been seeing these posts forever. I don't know what took me so long to really get on the train and really believe in the products, but as someone who uses I'm using the body wash right now. I've never smelled better.
I've heard so much about this body wash. I don't personally have it, but I've ran into multiple people being like, I bought the body wash and it smells so good.
No, I'm home, and my parents bought everything Manscaped sells the moment we did this ad, and the body wash and the single blade razor in that bathroom, and I was like, I'm about to have myself a time. And like, the body wash almost has like a fierce smell to it. Like, it has that kind of like hot 2000s man.
I gonna have to order.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take a whiff.
Okay.
And if you want to order, you should use the code GoodChildren for
20% off and free worldwide shipping.
And you can join Manscaped's. You can
6
join
million customers.
Yeah,
they have to be up to 7 million by our customers.
Yeah,
we probably have 1 million.
Don't forget, use the code GoodChildren at manscaped.com for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. And now it's time for
the girls' room.
If you had to fight an animal and win, not maybe win, you 100% know you'll win, what animal are you taking on?
Pigeon. Because I've had a few things to say to them before, and we often...
You honestly fight pigeons often.
We fight in the streets.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly nasty, and I don't know what comes over to
and they're domestic. They're like
the
saddest little backstories.
I know, but like, I know I'm gonna win in that situation. I know my words can cut, and like, they don't deserve it, but like, I can.
Wait, so you're fighting the pigeon verbally?
Verbally.
It's not a physical fight?
I could physically fight it.
Did you think the question meant if you had to like verbally attack an animal and win?
No, I just interpreted it like whatever way I wanted to.
How would an animal possibly win in an argument?
You can read its expressions. It's bobbing its head.
I don't think I'd ever be able to beat a bird in a fight. I think a bird could kill me in 10 seconds flat. Could I say like a butterfly? I don't know.
I think that's I mean, I said a pigeon.
A pigeon's an animal.
And I said a verbal fight.
It's honestly, a Google's.
What?
A Google's, the Webkins, the Google's. It's like a platypus with no arms. Remember them? They have like a duck bill.
Just because like you're relying on the fact that they have no arms, like
it just has feet and a mouth,
so
and
you can
waddles.
Swing.
Yeah. I could probably grab it by the neck and like
just toss it around.
Yeah.
I'd like honestly like to fight a goose.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Good Children. Wow.
It feels good to be home.
It
I'm about
does.
to sit and soak in a hot tub.
There's no place like home, even if your home is haunted.
Yeah.
Don't forget to get tickets to our live show on November 22nd at 7:30 p.m. at the Bell House in Brooklyn. Tickets are available in our description, in all of our bios. Please, 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 we cannot wait to see you there. It's going to be truly a hoot and a holler, I believe.
I would say that.
So we can't wait to see you there. But until then, you can find us on Instagram at Good Children Pod, on TikTok at Good Children Pod. I'm on Instagram at Joe Hegyes.
I'm on Instagram at Andrew Muscarella.
And I think don't forget to do
your homework. Like, subscribe, rate us, review. They're getting longer and longer by the day, and we love to read them. Spread the word to your friends,
to your family, to your neighbors, to your hometown heroes.
Yes, and enjoy your home. And if you resent your home, let's do some inner work.
Yeah. And Duke is really having an experience of his own. I guess we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
The trouble, they might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home. Thank you, Philip Phillips.